a normative framework. Oh, he's unlocked.
I'm not committed to any sort of framework using this sort of normative argument that I'm going to
Okay,
posit.
so wait, I just want to know, if you don't have any normative framework, what do you define good and bad as?
Wait, what? That's irrelevant.
Sorry,
Insofar
that
as
was a
wait,
pretty
okay,
clear and cut question. I'm listen, I'm not committing myself to any
yeah,
claim.
okay,
I'm just asking you a question. I'm just trying to see if you don't have any normative framework. I just want to know what you define good and bad as. I don't know how you're so confused on that, but go ahead.
yeah. So just to be clear, you think that a normative framework is required for a normative argument? And
That's not what
and
I
for
said.
yeah,
That
okay,
wasn't the
yeah.
claim.
So wait, I'm not
Sorry,
finished talking
sorry,
yet. So
sorry, sorry. Just to be
listen,
clear,
okay,
listen. You just draw.
look,
Listen, you were just confused
okay.
on my
So
question.
I'm
I
going
want to
to respond
clarify
to the
that.
question that you asked me.
Listen, the
And in
claim
reference
was
to
not that
what
you
we
need
call
a
good and
normative
bad,
framework to give a
what I
normative
just take to be
argument.
good is
I'm just
something
wanting
that we
to
should
know
do.
what you define good and
And what I
bad as.
take something to be
I'm not
bad is something that
necessarily
we shouldn't
committing
do.
myself
I'll
to
just
something. I'm
commit
just
myself to
asking you
that
a
sort of
question. What do you define
definition
good
of
and
good and
bad
bad.
as? Because you don't have a normative framework. I'm sorry that you were so confused on that.
Yeah. So I muted you because you interjected me. You can
Right.
go
I
ahead.
don't care if you muted me. Can I get an answer to my question?
Yeah, I gave you it. Were you not tracking?
You didn't give me the answer.
So just to be clear, you think that I did not respond to you in
Yes,
reference to
yes.
wait, okay, I'm not finished talking.
Listen. I'm not gonna do
Okay,
this
so
meta playing
you
with
think that
you.
I did not
Listen, just
respond
calm
to
down,
you
Gabe.
when
Just
you
to be
asked
clear, what do
me
you
what I
define good
mean
and
by
bad
good
as?
and bad, right?
What do you define good and bad as? Just to be clear, Gabe.
Oh yeah, so you think that, right? Just the recording is here. I'm gonna rewatch it. And you're
Listen,
gonna
I
listen
never
to it.
made any
No, wait, just
claim.
calm
I'm
down.
just
Just
saying,
calm
if
down.
you don't have a
Oh
normative
my God.
framework, I want to know
Okay, yeah,
what you
so I'll
posit
tell
as
you
good and
again,
bad.
just
This
for
is
your,
this is not a
retarded ass.
hard.
So
Listen, this
what
is
I mean by
not a
good
hard
is just something
question
that
to track. I
you
don't know how
should
you're
do,
so
and then
incredibly
by
confused
bad, I
on
just mean
this.
something you
Listen,
shouldn't do.
Gabe, instead of dodging the question, you should probably answer it. So again, Gabe, I'm just gonna continuously press you on this. What do you define good and bad as?
Holy shit! This is the second time I've given you the
Listen,
definition,
Gabe, you
and
never gave me that answer. You never gave me the answer. You were just rambling. You were
I
just going
never
on
gave
some.
you the
Listen,
answer.
you were just going
It's
on
been
some
the second
applied
time now.
mumbo jumbo without giving me an answer.
Okay,
So,
so I'm gonna give
what
the
do you
answer
define good
one
and
more
bad
time
as?
for everyone
And
in the
this
VC,
time,
just
don't
to
give
make
me
sure that
any applied
everyone
mumbo jumbo.
notices
I
that I've
want a
given the
clear
answer,
and cut
and
answer to my
he's not
question.
listening.
So again,
So
Gabe,
for the
listen,
third
this
time,
is
what
the
I mean
last
by
time
good
I'll
is
ask
this
you this
something that you
question.
should do, and by
So
bad,
I'm
I
not
just mean
gonna
something that
press
you
you
shouldn't do.
about it,
I
and
hope
I'm
that
not
this
gonna
time you
keep
actually
rambling.
track what I'm saying, and
What
you
do you
actually
define good and bad
continue the
as?
conversation.
Yeah, sorry, Gabe. What do you define good and bad as?
Holy shit, this is the fourth time. Okay, so by good, I just mean something that you should do, and by bad, this is something that you should not do.
Okay, and what does it mean for you to do? What does it mean for you to not do something?
Oh, sorry, that's not what I said. I said that something you
Okay.
should not do.
Oh my God, this guy's confused. Listen, what does it mean for you should not do something? That's all I'm asking. What are the
You
necessary
should,
conditions for that, retard?
yeah, you
Can you
should
give
not
me?
take.
Listen,
Okay, you
just give
should
me
not.
like a
Wait.
most
I'm gonna
general
answer
case.
the
I'm
question.
sorry. Just give me a most general case, retard.
You want an example of what I mean? Okay, I can give you an example. So,
In the most general case possible.
yeah.
By
So
the way,
yeah, okay, yeah. Just calm down. Okay.
I'm
So
very calm.
when I say you shouldn't murder someone, I just take it that I'm telling you you should not you should not take this sort of action. And by this I just mean like okay, we have a person. This person should not take the action of killing someone. Like I should not kill you or anybody else in this VC. That's just what I mean. I'm not sure how much more I can reduce it there.
Okay, listen. I grant that we shouldn't murder someone. I just want to know what makes that up.
Oh, the argument for the
Sorry, I'm
proposition
not
that I'm
asking for. Oh
positing?
my God, I'm not asking for the argument. I'm asking for the necessary conditions, retard. Just be clear.
The necessary conditions for something that you should not do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's going to derive from the argument I posit, index to the proposition. So I can give that
Yeah,
argument now if you
sorry.
want.
I didn't hear you
So
because my food got here. But anyways, just repeat that.
yeah, so that's usually going to be indexed to the argument I give as to, and from that argument I derive to whether or not something is permissible or not. And if it's permissible, then you should be allowed to do it, or you should do this thing. And if it's impermissible, then you should not do this thing, or this sort of action.
Okay, so it's not going to be dependent on a list of things or one thing necessarily. Okay, cool. So what's the argument for the pro-choice position?
The pro-life position. Anyways, so the argument for the
No, you said abortion is morally permissible. Sorry.
okay, I told you. Wait, that's not what I said. That's okay. Look, wait. Do you want me to give an argument for pro-choice? I can do that. So, I'll leave in LARP here, and I'll still eviscerate you. So by pro-choice, I just take it that the fetus is not the type of thing that meets my sufficient conditions for moral consideration. And by this, I just mean that the person, usually when we analyze or investigate why we value people, it's going to be the case that we're talking about some sort of qualitative experience index, and also some sort of prudential unity relations that people have towards their future experiences. And this kind of covers the sort of deprivationist view that a lot of pro-lifers posit, because usually when pro-lifers sort of give their arguments, they reference
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear any of
yeah.
what you said, so I'm gonna need you to repeat that because I was getting my food.
Okay, so we already have another tracking issue, but I'll
That
give you
wasn't
the
a
argument one
tracking
more
issue.
time.
Wait, Gabe, I just
So
want to be clear here since you're trying to be like a retard
yeah, okay,
using
so
counter rhetoric.
don't
But
interject when I'm giving
me
you,
going to
I'm
get
being
my
charitable
food,
and giving you the
I
answer
don't
one more
know
time.
if you think
So
I'm gonna be able to hear,
usually when I talk
you
about
while
moral
I'm getting my
value,
food or doing an
especially
action
when it
because
comes
I'm gonna
to
be away from my
people,
phone. So that's not a
I
tracking
just take
issue.
it that the
So just
fetus does
go
not
ahead
meet
and
my
repeat what you
sufficient
said. Sorry,
conditions
Gabe.
for moral
When I'm speaking
consideration.
over you, I
And
can't
this
hear you.
sufficient
So
condition
what
is
did
going
you
to
say?
be,
What did you
you
say? What
know,
did you say? What did you say? What did you say? Just
sentience and
repeat
these
what
sort
you
of
said.
prudential unity
What
relations
did you say?
that, also give us some sort of reason to say that there is harm of death in the majority of cases.
Okay, repeat that. Sorry, I was talking over you, retard.
Okay, yes. So the sufficient condition is, going to be sentience, and the fetus does not have this.
Jesus Christ. That's not what I asked you. I said you were committing yourself to a pro-choice view, retard. And then you just said you were pro-life. So I'm confused. What
Yeah.
position are you taking?
Oh my God. Look, I told you I would LARP because I can still eviscerate you, even taking the other position.
Listen, I was under the view. Listen, I'll just be pro-life. Are you fine with defending pro-choice?
I told you I would LARP, sure. Like I told you that just now,
Okay,
but
so, can you
wait, so
give me,
don't
wait,
interject.
just calm
Yeah,
down, just calm
yeah.
down, just
Okay,
calm down,
look, so don't
just calm
interject
down,
me.
just calm down, just calm down,
So yeah,
retard,
I'm
just
fine
calm
with
down, just
LARPing.
calm
I
down.
told you
Wait,
this
just to
three
be
times
clear,
now. I'm
just
still
to be
going to
clear, can
eviscerate
you
you,
give me
even
an
though
argument
I'm
for
not
why
even
we,
actually pro-choice.
listen, just calm down, Gabe. Can you give me an argument for why we should abort?
Yeah, so I was just doing that. So it's going to be the case that the fetus does not have, sufficient conditions for moral consideration. So,
Wait,
outside of
what are
any
those
sort
sufficient
of, okay,
conditions?
just calm down. I'm sort of
I'm
giving
very
the argument
calm.
here.
Me asking you a
Yeah,
question.
okay. So
Me asking you a
I'm
question
going
to
to
clarify
answer, and then
isn't
you
me
can
panicking.
give some sort of rebuttal. So it's going to be the case that the fetus does not have the sufficient conditions for moral
What are the
consideration,
sufficient
and these
conditions, retard?
conditions are going to be, sentience and the sort of prudential unity relations that people usually have.
So wait, just to be clear here. You don't value the potential for sentience. Not at all.
No shit, retard.
Oh, that was so rhetorical. So listen, if the fetus was like, I don't know, let's say 1 minute away from actualizing its sentience, do you think it's just moral to just, rip it limb from limb, punch it, come on it, do all this, things that would be morally wrong if the person had sentience, just 1 minute before they actualize the sentience? I just
Um,
want to know if you have a threshold for that.
I take it that usually there can be other wrong makers, especially when we're talking about cases where the fetus is so close to sentience. Um, Now, specifically as
So
to
what's going to be the
wait,
threshold then?
just calm down, just calm down. I'm giving you an answer. Now, as to
Mhm.
whether or not they have moral consideration, I take it that they don't. But but there can be other wrong-making features here, right? Like, I don't think that you should tear limb by limb. There can be other wrong-making features insofar as extrinsic reasons as to why you shouldn't,
Okay, what are
do these
those
sort of
extrinsic reasons?
yeah. So sometimes I'll posit like, okay, um, some like the mother can have some sort of interest in the fetus, or other people can have some sort of interest in the fetus insofar as they
Yeah,
value
yeah.
it,
So
so they
listen,
shouldn't do this sort of thing to the fetus.
Christ, free, turn down your mic. Anyways,
Oh,
it's
my bad, my bad.
stipulated. Okay, nigga. Anyways, it's stipulated in the hypothetical. The mother doesn't have any interest towards it. Now, is it okay to punch it 1 minute before it's sentient?
But is it like no? I think it's fine. I don't think it's morally impermissible. I mean, maybe I would say that it's wrong for like aesthetic reasons.
Okay,
Like
so
maybe
wait, you don't have any. So wait, the only threshold is when it fully actualizes its sentience.
yeah. I don't. That's just what I commit to myself in the view. Okay,
Okay, wait. Okay.
that's like
So wait,
that seems pretty
listen,
intuitive.
listen, hold on. I'm just gonna ask you a very simple question, and Bob, stop me writing your ass. But anyways, is it a precondition? Is it a precondition of sentience for the potential of sentience? Is the potential of sentience the precondition for sentience?
And by this, you mean that like it's necessary for sentience to
Yeah,
actually
listen, just to be
wait,
clear,
just
because
calm
you're
down,
confused,
just calm down. I'm not
someone would
okay. So
have,
stop
to have
interjecting.
the
Like, just
potential
let me
for
finish what I'm
sentience
saying.
to have
So
sentience.
by this, you
Yeah,
just
that
mean
was a
that
very
in
clear
order for
question. So
sentience
now
to
I need a yes or no
actualize,
answer.
it is
All right, just be
necessary
clear.
that
Can I
you have
get
a
a yes or no
capacity
answer?
for
All
sentience,
right, just
right?
be clear. Can I get a yes or no answer?
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to ask you to clarify one more time. So by this, you just mean insofar as the
I already
question.
stated what I meant. You're
Okay,
just a
just calm
retard.
down. I'm just
Yeah,
clarifying
so
because your question was incoherent. Okay,
since this guy
so
Gabe is so
okay, yeah.
confused,
So can you just
I'm just
clarify?
gonna
Like, holy
state it
shit, why are
again.
you being so
Listen, just
resistant?
calm down,
So
just calm down. Just to be
the
clear,
clarification
I'm
question.
saying,
Sorry,
the
was this?
potential for
Do you
sentience
take it that
is,
um?
listen, just calm down.
Are you
I'm
asking me
giving you
whether or not I
clarification
believe
on the
that
thing
in
you're
order to
confused on, but
actualize
listen,
sentience, you
all
need
I'm
to have a
saying by
capacity for
precondition is,
sentience? Is that
the
what you're
potential
asking me?
for sentience is, a necessary condition for someone to have sentience or to gain sentience, retard. Sorry. Just confused.
Okay, yeah. Clarify again because you're muted.
That nigga gave a bit.
For real. But anyways, I'm saying, listen, right? To gain
Tell him.
to gain sentience, you need the potential to have sentience, correct?
Sure, I can agree to that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So listen, under the view that sentience, is something we take into moral consideration, why would the precondition of it not be if it leads to this extrinsic good of sentience or this extrinsic moral consideration?
Consideration? You mean consideration? I mean, okay. So when we're talking,
That didn't
wait,
answer
just
my question. That didn't
okay. Yeah,
address
I
anything
am.
I said.
Okay, yeah,
You're just trying to
I
use this
am
very
answering
weird
the
counter
question.
rhetoric,
Just calm
which,
down.
can I just get an
Um,
answer? Can I get an
so when
answer?
it
Can I
comes
get
to
an
moral
answer? Can I get an answer?
consideration,
Can I
the
get an
only
answer? Can I
sort of
get an answer?
or sufficient condition that I posited was sentience. I never even mentioned some sort of potential, and I just take it that the potential for sentience is not the type of thing that I'm going to value. And a good example of this to explain my intuitions is like, okay, let's say for example we have a fetus on like a conveyor belt, and the fetus is going to they have a potential for sentience, but they're not going to obtain sentience until like a million years from now. My sort of view encapsulates the sort of intuition that we're not going to morally consider that fetus, even though they have the potential for sentience.
Yeah, just go ahead and repeat that. My mother called me.
Holy shit. Okay, so
He's
Yeah,
using that as
sorry
an
that I have
excuse. He
things
doesn't
to do,
understand what he
Gabe.
just.
Just repeat the question.
okay, yeah, there wasn't a question; it was a response. But okay,
Oh,
so
repeat the response.
yeah, okay, just calm down. You don't have to
I'm
interject
very
every single
calm.
time I speak. Okay, look, calm down. So usually when I'm talking about moral consideration, I just take it that the only sort of condition that I posited was that it is the case that sentience is a sufficient condition for moral value and consideration. Now, as to why potential for sentience is not going to be the type of thing that I value, is because if I take cases where we have a conveyor belt and a fetus is progressing towards the end of the conveyor belt, and in a million years they're going to be sentient. My sort of view encapsulates the sort of intuition that we're not going to value this being.
Okay, so listen, I never made the claim that in your moral consideration that you baked in that we ought to value the potential for sentience. All I said was, if the potential for sentience is a precondition of sentience, then we should value it because it leads to this feature in which we value. And two, in the conveyor belt knowledge, no, in the conveyor belt hypothetical, I'm just gonna need some reason for why we shouldn't value it just because the fetus isn't gonna reach sentience for a long time.
Yeah, I just take it that if we valued this sort of being, it's absurd. I do not have any sort of intuition for a fetus.
Yeah, I'm asking
That
for
wait,
the
wait, just
reason of
calm
that. I
down. Just
don't care
calm.
for
Look,
your
look, just calm
intuitions.
down. Just
I'm
calm down.
asking for an
Yeah, so
argument.
yeah, stop interjecting. Like I mute
No,
myself every single time you talk. I'll do it right after I finish,
I don't care
speaking.
about your chariot.
So I just take it that it's absurd to say we're going to value the sort of being that has a potential for sentience and is going to actualize sentience in a million years, right? That sort of response would be absurd. I don't even, and furthermore, I don't think that if you were to take like a mother, I don't even take it that a mother should sustain a being for however long if it's gonna take more than like maybe a certain threshold, especially not a million years. Like that's sort of the sort of overweight or like overwhelming consideration or overriding consideration is going to be present in that sort of scenario.
Yeah, I didn't hear any argument given. And two, I don't see why the mother shouldn't sustain the being. And three, in your in your hypothetical, it was stipulated that the fetus is outside. I'm not even gonna get into that. But listen, just give me the argument for why the mother shouldn't sustain the fetus for a million years. You just made that claim. You didn't give any fucking
I
justification
gave
towards
an
it.
argument. I gave an argument.
You didn't give the argument. Okay, go ahead and give the argument again. You didn't give the argument, by the way.
Yeah, I gave the argument like 4 times now. So I'll repeat it for you one more time because you don't seem to track conversations. You don't seem to
We
track
don't
any
track
points that I make.
conversations.
Yeah. So I don't need you to interject because again, I'm being
I don't care.
charitable and I don't
Just
cut
go.
you off
Just go.
anytime
Just
that
go.
you speak. So
Just go.
just give me
Just
the
go.
sort of
Just go. Just go.
charitability or the sort of consideration
Just
that I
go
give
ahead.
you.
Just go ahead.
So
Just
in
go
the
ahead.
cases that I provided, it's going to be true that sentience is not actualized, and the only sort of condition that I provided was sentience. Now you just mentioning that sentience is predicated on the potential for sentience or a capacity for it. Does not tell me anything. In fact, it just seems that this is something that is descriptively true. I provided you reasons as to why, or motivating reasons as to why sentience is the type of thing that we should value. But in response, you just posited, a potential, but that doesn't I can grant you that, but I would need some sort of reason as to why potential is the type of thing that we're going to value. The same way that I provided you reasons as to why we value sentience in general cases.
Listen, you just didn't attack what I said at all. Holy fucking shit. And also, you never gave the argument. We can just conclude here because you're not tracking what I'm saying. And the only people who think you would ever look good in this conversation is your little Phil bro retard friends. So listen, Gabe,
Blow.
if it's fine, we can conclude here. You didn't track my argument. You got absolutely killed.
Okay, so I don't know who
I'm
Phil
taking
Blows
this as
are.
a concession from Hyde because he can't
Yeah.
track what's happening right now,
Wow,
and he's
what a
making
concession!
an
What a
argument.
concession!
Like,
Yeah,
we
we
can
can definitely
conclude
debate that
it's
because
literally a
this was
Wait,
just
concession.
an
just calm
easy
down,
diff for
calm
High
down,
Cake Mouth.
calm down,
Holy fuck.
calm down.
This
Shut
was
the
like
fuck
a
up. Three,
I'm going to give
just like
I'm going to give
easy
my
diff.
closing
Holy
statement.
shit.
I'll give my
Three,
closing
shut the fuck
statement.
up, bro. Hyde got absolutely butt fucked. This was an awful
Yeah,
debate.
we can
Hyde was
definitely debate
absolutely
that because you can lose to me again. I don't give a fuck.
lose
Yeah,
to
bro,
you.
just
I've
calm down.
never
my
lost
God,
to you. What?
this guy is so bad.
Yeah, okay, wait. I'm going to give my closing statements and then Hyde can come back and give his. So the closing statements are just going to be that I provided an argument 5 times. In fact, Hyde cut me off like 10 times and I was being very charitable. I didn't cut him off once. The only times that I muted him was to make sure that the argument was not, or the conversation was not derailed and that we were very linear in our discussion. In fact, the only thing that he did was posit some sort of non sequitur insofar as potential for sentience, but what does that say under my view? Nothing. Now he can come back and give his sort of response if he wants.
Listen, I didn't necessarily say that under your view that you
Yeah, so
value
Hyde left.
the
I take that to be a
precondition for
concession.
sentience.
That fucking
I
retard.
said, as a defeater to that view that we should value
If someone
sentience.
ever tells me
Because,
again
oh
that
my
Hyde is
God,
better than me,
why
I'll
is this guy
fucking slap
trying
the
to
shit out of him.
talk
Holy shit.
during my closing? Can we mute this guy? That's so bad faith of him. That's really bad faith. But anyways, I never said it was stipulated under your view. I was saying, this is a defeater towards your view if you value sentience because you would have to value the precondition. And I'm saying we should value the precondition because it leads to this extrinsic characteristic which we take into moral
Wait, Lucario,
consideration.
stop the
You're so
recording. I want
bad.
to make
Also,
sure
I don't
that
know
I get
why.
this recording so
Listen,
we can
I don't
tag
know why he's
everybody and
trying
show
to
that Hyde is
interrupt
a
during my
fucking retard.
closing. I don't know why he's trying to interrupt during my closing. This is so bad from him. But listen, just to repeat, if I just suddenly got drowned out on the recording, listen, all I'm saying was, as a defeater towards his view, since he doesn't value the potential for sentience, if he didn't value he should value the potential for sentience because it's a precondition for sentience. That precondition leads to some extrinsic good insofar as it gains this characteristic which
Get it
we
out,
take
bro.
into moral
Holy fuck.
consideration. Shut up, Bob. Bob's a little retarded transgender. I don't think we value his word. But
Yeah, you get absolutely blown on
guys,
any
whoa,
criticism, but-
crazy rhetoric.
Anyway.